So, if you remember, in the last class we had discussed how Siddha had been arrested and brought to the Shiv Shankar household. Mr. Shiv Shankar and Mrs. Shiv Shankar accused Siddha of treachery and requested him to give back the gold chain. The police inspector also tried to persuade Siddha to confess his crime. Only Leela said that Siddha was innocent. Only Leela wanted to play with Siddha, but hers was a voice in the wilderness. No one listened to her. So we are starting from that point. Half an hour later, the inspector said to the constable, "Take him to the station. I think I shall have to sit with him tonight." After 30 minutes, the police inspector realized that Siddha would not confess, so he ordered the constable to take him back to the police station. He would have to sit with him that night. That means he would interrogate him. Jera korbe. He would interrogate him and try to find out where he had kept the gold chain. Everyone was certain that Siddha had stolen the gold chain. The constable took Siddha by the hand and turned to go. Leela ran behind them crying, "Don't take him. Leave him here. Leave him here." When the constable was taking Siddha away, Leela tried to prevent the constable from taking away Siddha. She ran behind them. She was crying and she was requesting, entreating the constable to leave Siddha in their house. She clung to Siddha's hand. What is meant by the word clung? It is the past participle or past form of cling. To cling means to catch hold of tightly. So Leela caught hold of Siddha's hand tightly. He looked at her mutely like an animal. Mute. Mute means dumb. Just as an animal is dumb, Siddha was also dumb. He could not say anything. Mr. Shiv Shankar carried Leela back into the house. Leela was in tears. She was in tears means she was crying. It was only Leela who believed in the innocence of Siddha. Every day when Mr. Shiv Shankar came home, he was asked by his wife any news of the jewel and by his daughter, "Where is Siddha?" So if you understand, Mrs. Shiv Shankar was only interested in the gold chain, but Leela was interested in Siddha. So Mrs. Shiv Shankar asked about the gold chain, whereas Leela inquired of Siddha. They still have him in the lockup, though he is very stubborn and won't say anything about the jewel, said Mr. Shiv Shankar. Stubborn means headstrong, angry. Mr. Shiv Shankar told his daughter and wife that Siddha was still in the police lockup, but he was so headstrong that he had not confessed anything. "Bah, what a rough fellow he must be," said his wife with a shiver. Shiver means tremble. Mrs. Shiv Shankar trembled because she was now sanguine that Siddha was a hardened criminal. That's why even the police could not make him confess. এমনকি পুলিশও তাকে দিয়ে স্বীকার করাতে পারছে না। Oh, these fellows who have been in jail once or twice lose all fear. Nothing can make them confess. And according to Mr. Shiv Shankar, as Siddha was a history cheater means a person whose name is in the police record, who had been sent to jail many times. According to Mr. Shiv Shankar, as Siddha was a history cheater, he was accustomed to police interrogation. Police jera eshe obhyasto, and he would not confess anything. A few days later, putting her hand into the tamarind pot in the kitchen, Leela's mother picked up the chain. The chain was ultimately found. It was not found on Siddha. It was found in Mr. Shiv Shankar's household. Who discovered the chain? Leela's mother discovered it. Where did she discover it? She discovered it in the tamarind pot in the kitchen. Tamarind in Bengali tetul. In the kitchen there was a tamarind pot. Mrs. Shiv Shankar found it inside the tamarind pot. She took it to the tap and washed off the coating of tamarind on it. Coating means layer. She washed away the layer of tamarind on it. It was unmistakably Leela's chain. When it was shown to her, Leela said, "Give it here, I want to wear the chain." How did it get into the tamarind pot? Mother asked. Mrs. Shiv Shankar wanted to know how the chain had found its way into the tamarind pot, who had kept it there. Somehow, replied Leela. Leela could not give a clear-cut reply. She gave an evasive reply, that somehow it had entered the tamarind pot. Did you put it in? Asked Mother. Yes. And now Leela confessed that it was she who had put the gold chain in the tamarind pot, and she had completely forgotten about it. When? Long ago, the other day. And she also could not specify the time when she had kept it there. Why didn't you say so before? I don't know, said Leela. So, Leela's mother wanted to know why Leela had not told them before that she had put it in the tamarind pot, and Leela answered that she did not know. A little girl may forget about a gold chain because gold is of no worth to her. When father came home and was told, he said, the child must not have any chain hereafter. Didn't I tell you that I saw her carrying it in her hand once or twice? Mr. Shiv Shankar was now strict with Leela and said that henceforth she would not be given any chain to wear because she would again lose it. And he also said that he had found her once or twice carrying the chain. She must have dropped it into the pot sometime. And all this bother on account of her. Bother means trouble. On account of means for her. According to Mr. Shiv Shankar, they had faced a lot of trouble because of Leela's absent-mindedness. Now look at Mr. Shiv Shankar's selfishness. Actually, it was Siddha who had suffered. Mr. Shiv Shankar had not suffered that much, but he did not speak of Siddha's suffering. He said that he had faced many trouble because of it. What about Siddha? Asked Mother. Now that it was proved that Siddha had not stolen the gold chain, Leela's mother wanted to know what would happen to Siddha. I will tell the inspector tomorrow. And Mr. Shiv Shankar informed his wife that he would inform the inspector the next day that the chain had been found. In any case, we couldn't have kept a criminal like him in the house. This utterance of Mr. Shiv Shankar is very much typical of middle class mentality. Siddha had not stolen the chain, but still he was a criminal because according to the police, his name had figured in the crime list before. So Mr. Shiv Shankar now said that he could not keep a criminal like Siddha in his house and he would terminate his service. So this story tells us about the middle class mentality, their idea about servants, their bias against the servants, and how selfish they are. Only Leela, the little girl, was unselfish because the world of a little girl is different from the world of an adult. She does not know the value of gold, and it was she, only she, who had said that Siddha was innocent. And in spite of the great financial and social barrier between them, Leela and Siddha had become friends. So this story tells us about the different traits of middle class mentality. We have finished it. I will send you questions and answers too. So our lesson comes to an end today. Thank you.